What's up, everyone? I'm Steve McCann, and we're here for the GoPro course preview. And I'm going to talk about my Superman seat grab. So, here we are, mega ramp. All right, Steve, say hi to everyone. So we're about to do a Superman seat grab. Make sure you pop your collar before you drop in, Steve. So we drop in, we're doing somewhere between 40 and 48 miles an hour. Pretty quick. All right, so now, the Superman seat grab. Pause right there, buddy. You want to stretch out as far as you possibly can, grabbing your hand on the seat and bringing it up as high as possible. Legs as far apart, so you're as long as possible. So hopefully my legs are out here, my bike's up here somewhere. See? Just like that. All right, Steve, take it away. So now we're going into the quarter pipe, and the quarter pipe is 27 foot high. The faster you go, the higher you're going to go. That is the name of the game. All right, that is the GoPro course preview. That's the Superman seat grab. I'm Steve McCann, and I'm out of here. Ready to get back up to the rolling.
Some pretty impressive shots there, courtesy of the GoPro camera. And there's Steve McCann up on top of the roll, and we're about set to kick this thing off. 8 riders in the lineup here this evening. And as we mentioned before, Steve McCann, he owns back-to-back gold medals in this event from 2011 and 2012 in Los Angeles. But there are your 8 finalists here: Andy Buckworth, Sebastian Keith, Colton Satterfield, Vince Byron, Steve McCann, Morgan Wade, Chad Kagan. As I mentioned before, that GoPro course preview, Zach Warden earned his first gold medal in this event last month in Foz do Iguaçu, Brazil.
I am so happy for Zach for getting that gold medal. He's been working so hard on this ramp, putting the time in and showing you how it's done.
And it was a victory. He did it with authority. You know, he came through, pulled a run he's done before, but just made it look that much cleaner, stomped it, you know, and he'd be the favorite going into this in my eyes.
Well, the way it works, these riders are going to get 4 runs each. It's the best run that counts. The judges are operating on a 100-point scale, and there is Andy Buckworth, and we are in here for the GoPro BMX Big Air Final.
Andy Buckworth straight out of the gate, going for the double backflip, pulling it clean.
Very clean, and a big tuck no-hander. I mean, that's going to be the weakness for Andy here. It's just the quarter pipe because of the height of it. You know, he's just not a vert rider. He doesn't have that background, but man, the gap, how clean is this, Kevin?
Right here,
I mean,
look, it stays tucked all the way around, spots his landing, comes down. You see him swerve out towards the left to give himself room on the quarter pipe. Check this out, head cocked back, pulling those bars up to his chest.
yeah, that's a smooth landing. We talked about this a lot in Brazil, how relatively speaking, when you're coming down that thing at such a high speed, you get a little bit squirrely and it will look pretty rough, but that's about as clean as you can hope for.
So he gets an 85 to start it off. It's been a couple of years since we've seen him at an X Games in Big Air. 2010, actually. He got a bronze medal back in 2010, but starts it off here with an 85 as we go back up to the top here. This is Sebastian Keith rolling in.
And off he goes, just like that. He's down in, big tuck no-hander, and he's no stranger to going huge on quarter pipes, but he's a stranger to the Big Air quarter pipe. This is a new event for him.
Yeah, this is Sebastian's first time riding the Big Air event, first time spending time on the mega ramp. But showing you how it's done with the tuck no-hander over the gap, and then just boosting on the quarter pipe. When you ride this ramp, a lot of times your first few runs, you just want to pace yourself, you want to get comfortable. I know this from experience. It's a lot better to just kind of get in the groove, feel the flow of things, and then you can start adding on to each run as you go along.
And with 4 runs, I mean, I've seen the way you've done it in the past when you compete. Get something solid that you've pulled before, even stuff that you've won a gold medal before. The next year you're stepping it up and you say, I'm going to do this time for my first run, and then step it up from there.
Coming down the roller right now, Colton Satterfield. Look at that.
Yeah, speaking of stepping it up, the bar spin to double tail up.
Oh, Colton Satterfield.
Bar spin to double tail up flip, and the triple whip. That's his dream run.
That was the run. That was the run he was talking about.
So much for what we were talking about. Start out with something easy, get it kind of under your belt.
Look at Stevie Caballero's down there. He's pumped up. That's a skateboard legend right there, all fired up about BMX Big Air. I love it.
There's so much to this. You spin the bars, catch them, and then throw 2 tail whips while you're doing a flip over a monster gap. It's insane.
It's insane, and you watch right here as he lands.
Watch that back wheel.
He has to adjust.
His right
look at
foot was. Oh, he wasn't even on the pedal.
right here.
And then,
1, 2, 3.
triple whip. He's got these as dialed as anybody on this big ramp. I mean, he's pulling these consistently.
And that is the highest triple whip I've seen Colton ever do on the mega ramp. I've ridden this ramp with him so many times, and he definitely backed off on the brakes and boosted that air.
88.66 right there for Colton Satterfield. We've got Vince Byron up next, but before we see his run, let's check in with our sideline reporter, Jordan Whitley.
Well, Vince had to crash over the gap in practice. He didn't get himself banged up, but he got his bike banged up. The frame is bent. Him and Scotty Kramer, the BMX bronze medalists today, were trying to put it back together. They even had a piece of plywood between the forks. I said, Vince, you know, can you ride it? He's like, yeah, it works, but that's about it. So he's got an extra challenge here as he drops in, guys.
Thank you very much, Jordan. So a little bit of adversity here for Vince Byron to work with, but he's still up there. He's padded up. He's ready to roll here. What do you think we're going to see out of Vince here, Kevin?
One thing I love about Vince is he's not afraid to push the progression on the mega ramp. He's doing such tricks as 540s, opposite 360s over the gap.
And there you go, opposite 360 double downside whip, and follows it up with a
Giant flare.
Too clean. I mean, obviously didn't pull it, but that was coming in like it was going to be a perfect landing. And maybe he got greedy, he went for an ice pick.
You know, and with that big of a transition, sometimes you have to remind yourself it's okay to pull out a little bit. Right there, check this out, opposite 360 tail whip, landing perfect.
And then look, I kid about the ice pick, but when you hit your back peg on coping, if he'd have stalled that out, we'd have had the sickest lip trick ever in BMX Big Air.
So again, they get 4 runs. Remember, it's 4 runs. It's the best run to count. So even though he's down there with that 75.66, he's not out. He's still got 3 more chances in it. So we go back up to the top. There's a gentleman you saw on that GoPro course preview, Steve McCann, gold medals in Los Angeles in 2011 and 2012. Didn't make the podium in Foz last month.
And look at that, Kevin, you were right. I say you were right. Wasn't going to start out with a double front flip like he's done at the couple last Big Air events, but you know, it didn't pay off necessarily. I mean, he's a little banged up too, but he sketched out a little. This isn't going to be the highest scoring run of hit for him.
Check this out right here. This is a bar hop backflip.
That's insane.
That is crazy. But you notice his feet missed the pedals.
Yeah, but
that could cost him a couple points.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought sketchy landing. But hey, again, we're talking about Big Air, relatively speaking. I mean, if you do a bar hop backflip, you know, you roll out of that thing. That's pretty good.
They got an 85.66. That put him in second place right now. And as I said before, he's a little banged up from that last crash in Foz last month. He's still not 100% after that. But this is Morgan Wade. Got his first Big Air medal last month. Ended up with the bronze out there in Foz de Iguaçu, Brazil. Was the previous holder of the Big Air record in X Games competition here at BMX Big Air.
This is my fellow go really big and high buddy. Check this out right here. He's going to speed jump this, and he's just going to boost. Watch how high it goes.
It's going to be, boom! Oh, no, he doesn't pull it. He doesn't pull it.
24 feet, 8 inches.
Now going back to that high air record.
And he's got the worm, and it's the shoeless thing again.
Going back to that high air record, he had 21 feet 7 inches. He set that back in 2007. That was overtaken by Douglas Leite last month in Brazil. 22 feet 1 inches, the current record. Morgan was going for it.
And he does a one-hand invert. Are you kidding me?
We can see that from our camera angle.
He's going to hit the ceiling. How high are the ceilings in here? Do we know this? Because
sure, we can get that stat for you here.
And I'll have to correct you, Jimmy. That's the highest record for the X Games. For the actual record, I actually hold it myself. So,
yeah, if you want to get down to brass tacks, you're holding on to that with 27 feet.
Now, Morgan did tell me before this event that he was just going to go big on that first air. That run would not have scored great had he pulled that air because he didn't do a trick over the setup. But he's gone on record as saying he wishes the gap was longer.
Well, we've got a handful of these guys that were in the vert competition on Friday night. Chad Kagi, Vince Byron, Steve McCann, and Zach Warden all duking it out on Friday in the vert comp. Let's take a look back to Friday night. Vince Byron there unleashing a new one on us, and Chad Kagi brought a brand new trick into the mix.
Front flip flare. Amazing trick for Chad Kagi, and you never know what to expect from him on the mega ramp.
What an amazing view of Barcelona. It's the first time I'm seeing this footage. I was riding in that, but to see it here, that's wow. It's already bringing back fond memories. That was an epic vert comp, and you know what? So was the park comp, and so was the street comp. So we've got one more to go, and this was just an incredible weekend for BMX.
Well,
And this will be an epic night. And Chad Kagan never wasn't afraid to push the progression again. Check this out right here. Oh, the cliffhanger backflip.
Super clean.
Flare whip. Pulls it clean. What an amazing run by Chad Kagan.
Amazing is an understatement, Kevin. That run, I think that was so clean, so high, both over the gap. You don't even usually see people go really high, but it seemed like the gap was boosted.
Check this out right here. Pinches the front end of his bike with his feet, fully stretched out.
And like this landing really is clean. Not in relative terms, just a clean, smooth landing. And then with a smooth landing, you're going to go higher.
Right here, flare tail whip, Chad Kagan's specialty. Lands it butter smooth. Check this out right at the top of the ramp.
Man, we've had two really incredible runs today.
What's this score?
Well, what's it going to be? 90. We're into the 90s, so he overtakes the lead here from Colton Satterfield. So your silver medalist from last month, and Faz Degoasu jumps to the top of the leaderboard here in the latter part of round 1. Remember, it's 4 runs. We still have yet to see our gold medalist from last month, Zach Warden. He's due up next. We see on the trick track there the cliffhanger backflip and then the flare tail whip on the quarter pipe. It says no hander backflip, actually a cliffhanger flip. And it's crazy that he does the I mean, you see the guys in Moto X do it, but that's a 225-pound motorcycle they're dealing with. You're doing this with basically a 22-pound BMX bike.
And he extended that so far.
Chad actually puts grip tape on his handlebars to help grab the bike with his legs.
So there you go, Zach Warden. Happy birthday, Mom! It's his mom's birthday, as you understand right there. So the Warden family watching intently from O'Fallon, Illinois, as their baby boy rolls in here.
Oh, that was perfect!
Check this out, feeling a triple whip.
Zach, it was huge.
Hey, that could have been really bad. That was scary.
16 feet, 15.8 on the triple whip.
How awesome would that have been, though, if they got that run down first? I mean, that was clean on that bike flip, backflip.
Yeah, he landed that clean, kept the speed, and just huge. He looks like a guy that's won a gold now, and he's just out firing it.
Check this out right here. Watch this landing. Perfect. Spots it, puts it down solid. 1, 2, 3. He clips right there on the coping.
And you do receive a score, fall or not. You're obviously not going to score that well when you crash. You've got 2 things, a gap and an error. So you're not going to look at someone winning a gold with a crash or even getting in the medal stands. But you've got to compare one crash to another sometimes. You're seeing there he's still placed ahead of 2 riders.
Well, how about that landing on that bike flip, backflip, though? That was a super clean landing. That is the end of round number 1. We've still got 3 more rounds to go. Plenty more action here from X Games Barcelona. Don't go anywhere. Chad Kagan, Colton Satterfield, and Steve McCann. Keep in mind, though, they get 3 more runs, and it is the best run that counts before we hand out the last of the medals here this weekend from X Games Barcelona. We go back up to the top of the order here. Andy Buckworth set to roll in here. Currently sitting outside of podium contention as of right now. Not too far, though. He's knocking on the door with Steve McCann. He's got an 85, but he's in for round 2.
That's the exact same outcome we see every time Steve McCann plays that. Not every time because he won a gold with it. But, you know, in Brazil, he was having problems with that trick.
Well, he under-rotated one, and then he over-rotated the next one, and just couldn't get it right there in Brazil.
And this looked great. There's just too much of an impact.
There's so much forward momentum out of that. You have so much speed. It's hard to control. You have to put that down just perfect.
Yeah, and he definitely turned his bars, too. I mean, he'll have somebody there to help him fix it or just fix it himself, but it's never good either when you're in a competition, and now you got to work on your bike in the middle of it.
He had great extension on that. You see that left foot was starting to come off the pedal right before the tires hit the knuckle or hit the landing there. He got out of that. I mean, you're doing a no-handed double front flip over that huge gap, and you roll away from that virtually unscathed. That's pretty impressive in this day and age.
Yeah, I'm just doing a no-handed double front flip. I fell, I'm fine.
All right, Sebastian Keep rolling in for his second run here.
I think Sebastian's going for some kind of no-footed trick. And just boosting some big air. This is a new event for Sebastian Keep.
Well, are you the next phenom? If you're an amateur age 13 to 19 and have the game, then enter your 60-second video. The top 6 are going to win an all-expense-paid trip to ride in a phenom contest at the X Games. So Sebastian Keep there. Let's get to 77 for run 2 here. So he'll stick with that first run score of 79.33 that's got him down at 5th as of right now. And there is a shot of Colton Satterfield. He was in the lead until we saw Chad Kage's first run. Colton now sitting at 2nd right now with an 88.66, but what an amazing run he had the first go-around.
It's a dream run practically, so I don't know what he's got planned to step it up, but
No-handed 360 flip.
Big one and perfect landing.
Right into the double tailwhip, puts down a good solid run. A lot of times too, you want to do that to kind of rebuild your momentum, get yourself pumped up and psyched again.
And I suppose you have tiebreakers to be concerned about too, but big no-handed 360 flip. When Mira unleashed that a few years back at Big Air, it was incredible. And it's still incredible to this day. You don't see many people doing that.
Colton has this trick on lockdown. I've seen him do this trick so many times. He lands it perfect every single time. Amazing rider over that jump.
Getting at an 88.66 the first go-around. So
87.66. It makes you wonder, though, should he have gone for a triple there? He seems to have them pretty dialed. He had the speed to do an even bigger one. Might have scored better than that run.
Maybe he was just feeling it out, saying, hey, you know what, get the no-handed 3 flip out of the way and then see how the double win feels. He's still got 2 more runs to go. Vince Byron coming down the roll in for run 2.
There it is again, opposite 3, double downside whip. With enough speed to do a giant no-handed 540 and pump the landing and pump his fist. He's every reason to be excited.
I'm going to mention this. He's the only guy besides one other person who's doing 540s on the quarter pipe in Big Air, and he's sitting in the booth. I'm talking about you, Kevin. Yeah, you two are the only ones to 540 this thing.
Look how we kicked that up high. That's pretty.
Look at how he catches that. It doesn't get any better looking than that on that trick.
But yeah, you're right about the 540s. It's not, I mean,
you don't see anybody doing it.
Flares are way more common. It's kind of a trend now in vert riding too. Plenty of guys do them, but a lot of new school riders go right to learning like double whips and they don't even 540. But Vince, new school rider, that's got it all.
You know, 540ing this ramp is definitely a lot different than 540ing a vert ramp. It's, you know, I told that to Vince when he was first learning them and trying them. I said, you got to be patient with it.
Look at that. He gets a 90. So now you see that puts him at the top of the leaderboard. He's tied with Chad Kage for 90. Talked about tiebreakers earlier. Basically, there's 5 judges. They're all judging on a 100-point scale. They drop the high and the low scores and average the remaining 3 together. So the first tiebreaker, you bring back in those other 2 scores. So they average all 5 together. So by virtue of that, that's why you see Vince Byron in that top spot over Chad Kage as of right now. The second tiebreaker would be the second best run. They obviously didn't need to go to that. Here comes Steve McCann.
Never count Stevie out. Double front flip, he lands it perfect.
Clean. And clean gives you speed. Wow.
An amazing run for Stevie McCann. And actually, we talked before the contest, and he wasn't sure if he was going to do the double front because of the trouble he had with it in Foz.
But you notice he's holding his wrist again.
Look at him, he's holding his wrist. He is visibly in a great deal of pain. He
was in pain in Brazil. This is hard on your wrist, the impact.
Maintains the tuck, keeps it all the way around. Right here, you'll see his eyes. He's trying to look down and spot his landing. Lands perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And that's the run that got him the gold medal in Los Angeles in 2011. And you see at the end of that right there, he is in a great deal of pain. Let's check in right now with Jordan Whitley, who's down there with Steve McCann.
All right, Stevie, it looks like you're holding your wrist. What happened?
Yeah, basically in Brazil, I hurt my wrist pretty bad and had some super bad whiplash that, you know, I've been dealing with all the way up until this contest. And I knew I probably only had 1 shot at that, and there it was. So I'm probably done unless my wrist starts to feel good in the next 10 minutes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. I love you.
So Stevie with an 88.33. It's got him in 4th place as of right now. So your top 3, Vince Byron, Chad Kage, and Colton Satterfield. Morgan Wade set to roll in, and what do you think? Just go for the Big Air record again here?
I don't know. Morgan and I talked for the contest. I know what he has planned. I know the run that he would love to do. Let's see if it happens now or if he holds off a little bit. There it is, the big cannonball.
Kind of overshot the landing a little, but it doesn't matter if you're Morgan. You go big anyway. Didn't pull it though.
That was 20.5 feet.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like he overshot that landing a lot. I'm thinking he's not going to carry the speed to go as high as you would maybe otherwise. 6 inches higher than the triple whip that he pulled clean in Brazil.
And that's the thing about Morgan. He boosts this thing so high. It's called the Big Air event, and Morgan's showing you how right there, doing a 21-foot high triple tail whip.
And he under-rotated, Kevin. Look at that, he under-rotated the whip. That's pretty wild. He didn't actually, at first it looked like he hung, but he actually just came down a little bit front wheel first and under-rotated the actual tail whip part. Ooh, he did bonk.
That's 20.5 feet.
Yep.
Triple tail whip.
He got out of that as clean as you possibly could.
It ups his first run score. They went to 75.66. Obviously, doing a trick over the gap as opposed to just straight jumping the first time around. But you gotta love that guy's style right there. I am a Morgan Wade fan. So Chad Kagi due up next. He was in the lead. Actually, as we said before, he's tied with a 90. But by virtue of the first tiebreaker, it appears they bring in all 5 scores, which gave Vince the lead. But taking a look back to Chad's first run.
That's perfect.
Chad Kagi original right there. Cliffhanger backflip straight into the flare whip. Chad has those on lockdown.
And this is what Vince did in round number 2 to unseat Chad and take over that top spot.
Opposite 360, then double downside whip, and then, like you said, not many people are 540 in this.
That was a
definitely not
no-handed 540. It said on the trick tracker it was just a 540. That was a no-handed 540.
Oh, yeah, that's what we caught that. It was easy to see, and he stretched them.
You know, on this ramp, I feel like all the athletes have just beginning to scratch the surface of what can be done on this ramp.
Chad Kagi ready to bring it in here for round number 2 at GoPro BMX Big Air.
Check this out. I know what he's going to go for.
No-headed up double backflip. Wow. He got an extra 90 on that and then laid it over. There's no way he was trying to no-headed double backflip 180 to fakie. You don't think, do you, Kev?
There's only one person I know that tried a black backflip 180 over a box jump. He's sitting right here next to me.
I've paid the price, and I've gotten a lot of glory out of it, too. But, yeah, you don't want to do that down Big Air ramp. It would be hard to roll back down this thing.
See, right there, Chad knew. He knew he wasn't going to get around enough, so he pitched the bike sideways, and you want to try to get out of this thing as clean as possible. The nice thing about this ramp is you carry a lot of forward momentum, so you're not coming to a dead stop and you crash. You're actually kind of sliding out of it.
And slide he did.
Looks like he left a little souvenir on the ramp there with some skin there. Zach Warden.
You know, Zach's run was really impressive, but he fell. It's the nature of this event.
There's the bike flip, backflip. Can he get the triple whip around?
Yes, he can.
And there you go. It is.
Yes, 13 feet, 4 meters high.
Bike flip, backflip. That is a Zach Warden original.
And, you know, this is the run that he won gold with, so it's going to score well. We know that. Exactly where, who knows. But he's getting this so clean, Kevin. Look at this. I mean, he's pumping out of this. You do it enough times, I guess, and it's just another trick to you. But it's a trick that only he does, and the way he's pulling it clean, that definitely adds to your score.
I look at his feet. They were so solid on the pedals, and he was ready for that triple whip. That's so important. That's so important. When you land on this ramp, you want to be ready. You want to be so ready for that quarter pipe, because that thing can come back and bite you.
Oh, yeah.
So now, where do you think this puts him overall? That puts him in 3rd at 89.33. So that's got him just outside of the 90s there. But it is 4 runs. It's best run that counts. So all 8 of these riders are going to get 2 more shots at it as we start off round number 3.
Right there it is, a double front no-hander. He lands it perfect.
Look at that.
Perfect. Oh, no,
he just gets up, slips his pedal.
Yeah, he admittedly says the quarter pipe's not his strong point, but to pull that jump over the gap so clean, you wish that he just threw something a little better there.
Check this out right here. Pops it around, spreads those wings, puts the wheels down, lands perfect.
Yes, that's
the extension on that.
But, you know, with half your score being over the gap and with the event being called Big Air, if he's, you know, a few feet lower than the other guys and not pulling a trick, Go. Went for an X up, but it's not going to score real high.
That'll bring up Sebastian Keep.
Sebastian Keep heading for the quarter pipe to see what he's got. The nice little tabletop. Look at, he did a nothing over the gap.
Yeah, he got inverted pretty good there. That was stylish. 12 foot 9 inches high.
Like I said, Sebastian, this is his first time really riding the mega ramp. He told me he just wanted to come out, have a good time, ride with the guys, and just feel the flow and get comfortable.
His best run score was first round, 79.33.
Hey, see my hands are going funny. You see?
So we keep talking about Foz de Guassu last month, where Zach Warden walked away with the gold medal. Taking a look back last month, and there's Kevin Robinson on the Big Air ramp. Wow, having a little issue there. How did that go down for you, Kev?
You know, I knew as soon as I took off that it was off. I was going to over-rotate, and as I rotated around, I had to make the decision to plant my bike or eject. And if I ejected, I knew I'd get even more hurt. So I let my bike take the impact of the fall and tried to make it as simple as possible, and wind up hitting my head, and that's why I get to sit here with you guys now.
But I'll say he was fine later that night. He showed up in the lobby and he's like, can we be roommates? Somebody needs to wake me up on occasion.
he's absolutely right.
What are friends for?
Well, it's just testament to how hard the BMX Big Air ramp is to tackle as we get into Colton Satterfield here.
What just happened? It looked like a decade 360 flip, but that's it out to try. That's an incredible run. That's an extra dream run. Look at this.
I didn't see the replay.
He's in fourth from what was arguably could have been a gold medal run at a lot of these past events. And now he follows it up with progression.
Check this out right here. It's a 360 decade
backflip. That's
backflip.
It's exactly the way to explain it. It looks like a legit decade. A decade is a flatland trick, and he's going around just like that, back to the pedals, all the way around. Insane. That is nuts.
I had to lean into the monitor and think about what just happened there. And it's a 90, so again,
we're back to a
three-way tie going here for first. But again, when you apply those tiebreakers, the first tiebreaker, we drop the high and low scores between the 5 judges, so you bring back in all 5 scores. So by virtue of that, Vince still has the lead.
And I know people at home are probably watching and thinking, well, you know, how come the score isn't higher?
How come that flare isn't higher?
That was a massive 17-foot flare, 17-foot 6-inch flare.
Goodness.
I'm proud of you, Vince. You're getting up into my territory, buddy.
And it was a flip double whip over the gap. I mean, we talk about this like, oh, hey, a flip double whip over the gap. That was a video game trick not too long ago.
Unreal. Check this out right here. Massive flare, just stalling it out, lands so clean.
Wow, this is another epic BMX event here in Barcelona, and impossible to pick winners here.
So an 89.66, so he's going to stick with that run 2 score. But, I mean, this is picking up where we left off in Vert on Friday night. You got 3 guys all with a 90 right here.
That's what happens when people are riding at such a high level and it's so closely contested. I mean, there's different tricks, different styles. You have to balance all that out in different judges' opinions.
And here comes Steve McCann for round 3.
And he's going big. He's going big. Yes! Taking a page out.
21 feet, 8 inches on that.
You know, kudos to him for not just calling it a night. It sounded like in his previous interview that he was done for the night, but now he decided, hey, I can go big too. Let's see what it's like when I do non-trick over the gap and blast.
And I'm going to tell you right now, when you're below 20 and below, you can kind of get a grasp of it. It feels pretty normal. When you start going over 20 feet, it really becomes challenging to hold on to your bike, the momentum, the force that you have going into the ramp. Right there, just lands a little low and shoots him off the bike. But great job by Stephen McCann, getting up, facing some adversities, and back up performing.
Well, you see he was clutching that right wrist again when he came off the ramp after the fall. There's Morgan Wade, 3 riders left to go here in the rotation for round 3. See Morgan Wade saying, No problem. Look at his face. He's out here. He's just having a good time.
We'll see. If he tricks the gap, he's going for a run. If he doesn't, well, he's going for a run.
Huge cannonball.
And he can still go high.
1, 2, 3. Oh.
You can
Put that
tell.
back wheel again? It sounded like he did.
Hey, this is the nature of Big Air. You know, he bronze medaled recently in Brazil. He could still medal here, but he could end the night without pulling a single run. But hey, he's still more than
20.5 feet on that triple tail whip attempt.
I laugh when he does tricks sometimes.
Well,
It's animated the way he just tweaks things beyond.
Think about this. Look how far down the landing he lands on this. If he lands a little higher on the landing, think about how much higher he could possibly go in that triple tail whip.
And that cannonball is fully stretched right here. Whips it around, catches the bike, clips right there, barely clips the coping. And when you're traveling at that speed and that momentum, that's all it takes is one little offset, and it can take you down.
So that'll give him a 75. So the best score he's got thus far was round 2 at 75.66. So now here's an interesting thing. Again, we mentioned the three-way tie with a 90. Chad Kagi has been bumped down to 3rd now after what we saw at a Colton Satterfield. So what do you think? Something new out of Chad here tonight?
I know Chad has some dream tricks in his bag. Well, let's see if he can make it happen. Oh, this looks good. Check this out right here.
Gets the flare whip around.
That would not be the run that he was probably planning for a dreamer. Well, it's obviously not the run he was planning for a dreamer, but he seems at ease. All these guys seem to be just loving it tonight. And much like the vert comp that we had a couple nights ago. Everybody was just in a zone, camaraderie, going for it.
Remember, he came up a little short in that last run on the double back. Had to rotate out of it, just slide out.
Right here, lands that flare whip right at the top, right just under the coping. And I'll tell you, a big difference is having this ramp set up inside. You're not dealing with any weather elements. Once you figure out your speed, it's on lockdown. You can do that same routine every single time.
So an 88 there for Chad. We're still in that three-way tie there.
Go higher. The judges don't like me going that low, apparently.
Well, the name of the event is BMX Big Air. Chad's just having fun, though. So if you're watching, you're going, okay, we got 3 guys all with scores in 90s. How do we sort that out again? First tiebreaker is bringing in all 5 judges' scores. Second tiebreaker is the second highest run score. Zach Warden back in the mix. Oh!
Triple whip, and you got it. My goodness.
My gosh.
We might be looking at a repeat gold medalist here. Bike flip, back flip, late tail whip, and then lands it clean enough to pull the triple whip. Triple whip is no afterthought.
Not at all.
His feet didn't even bobble. He landed that so clean. You don't know the difficulty of that jump. We're gonna check
this
it out.
is amazing.
There's so much going on in this trick.
So much going on. You're doing a back flip while you do a bike flip, and then throwing a late tail whip.
Look how clean he landed that feet right on the pedals. Check this out. Grabs the seat.
Puts the feet back on the pedals and then kicks it around for a whip. Unbelievable.
Unreal, and then you still got to pull the triple whip if you want it to be your dream run. That is not easy.
Let's not downplay this right here. This is a triple tail whip on a 27-foot tall quarter pipe, people.
That's a gold-worthy run if I've ever seen one.
Wow. I cannot wait to see the score. This could get interesting. This is awesome.
And we still have one more round to go.
The progression is being pushed. Right
92!
there!
Boom! Back on top with a 2-point lead.
Yes!
Let's send it down one more time to Jordan Whitley.
Well, Chad Kagi just looked at you and said, that is the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen when you add that late tail whip. How difficult was that trick?
You know, it's just a lot of hard work. It happened. I'm really pumped. I tried it in Brazil. Anytime you come out here, it's a crapshoot. So 2 solid runs. So far, everyone's walking away. This is an amazing contest. It feels great to be back in first, but it just feels to be great. It feels great to be part of BMX. So.
Now, earlier you said that run, you didn't think that it would put you in first place, but this one did. Talk about the decision and the confidence you had to pull this off.
Well, you know, it's just a crapshoot. It's my mom's birthday. I want to come out here and do the best I can for her. She's done so much for me, so hopefully I can bring her home medal.
All right, well, you're doing it for Mom here, guys.
Woo.
Wow, what an epic run that was right there. So Zach Warden has claimed the lead here at the end of round number 3. He was in the gold spot, but then Steve McCann bumped him out. Zach had to settle for silver. Got a gold last month. He's sitting here poised to take another one in Barcelona, but it's the final round here. We'll see if that can change.
Beautiful again, huh? Kevin, that was so clean.
Perfect double front flip, no hand.
And a flip.
That was a nice flare. Good solid run by Andy Buckworth.
Yeah, and that's 9.5 feet. I mean, that's not anywhere near the height some of these other guys are going, but it's a good starting point. You start doing this stuff on a regular basis, it's going to be higher.
Right here, look at that. Pops right off the lip, spreads his hands out, spots his landing. Perfect.
He's got to be a happy camper right now.
You know, and I talked to Andy a bunch. We've really been talking a lot about the quarter pipe, and I told him, listen, you can't rush that quarter pipe. You got to take your time and slowly work your way up, and it's exactly what he's doing.
So this will be his best run of the night, an 86 flat. So we'll leave him in 6th place on the evening. There's a shot of Sebastian Keep of the UK. He's down there at 7th right now. Best run was his 3rd run with an 81 as he rolls in here for round 4.
Coming in, hitting the nothing over the jump again.
And a good tuck no-hander. Yeah, another guy here, 12'3", tuck no-hander.
You know, that double front flip, the double no-hander front flip we've been watching, actually was done by Anthony Napolitan at the X Games, first one to ever do it, and he did it on the mega ramp.
I think you're going to be seeing more of that now, too. A lot of firsts will be done on the mega ramp. I mean, the gap's longer. You have more time to get the trick done. And on the quarter pipe, too. You know, typically, most quarter pipe tricks have all been done on vert first.
What is Colton Satterfield going to unleash on us this 4th time around?
Just that.
I mean, he's had a big night out here as well.
I meant that sarcastically because that's pretty insane.
I mean, in his big night, he's in a medal spot right now, in the bronze position.
Yeah, watch this.
Get up and walk away from this, though.
Pretty crazy. He's going for a tail whip, 360 flip. Oh,
just under rotates. You watch his front tire just catch the ramp a little early. Watch right here as he comes around, front wheel grabs, doesn't quite get all the way around, and slings him down.
Think of all the rotations involved there, because you have a 360, you have a flip, and you have a tail whip, and there's just all of these moving parts, different axes. You hope your headset's working good. There's a lot that goes into that.
Rolling into one more time around. Vince Byron currently sitting in the silver medal position.
Slips his pedal.
Thought he was going to be able to recover from that. But can't remember. I mean, Jordan had, talked about it earlier in the show. He's having all kinds of bike problems.
But his incredible run early still has him in a silver medal position. So
yeah, despite all the problems,
disappointed.
He's still in medal contention right now.
Backflip, double tail whip, catch it around, and apparently riding with a bent bike, which is very difficult. It throws off the geometry of the bike and how the bike feels.
I think he kind of just volunteered to lay that over right there. You don't want to go up that quarter pipe sitting in that position.
No, your feet off the pedals. That wouldn't be very good.
I'll tell you right now, when you're approaching that ramp and your feet aren't set in the pedals right, it is scary.
That would pop you out. Like, that could be a very, very, dangerous landing if you were to go up that thing sitting down.
4 more riders to go. Steve McCann
going for
bringing the double front flip.
He did it.
He's not sitting out this contest. And a triple
tail whip, pulls it clean. He stops his run. Last run. Stevie just endures the pain, holds onto that bike tight, and puts down an amazing run.
I think about how much pain he was visibly in as he walked off the ramp those last 2 runs and then comes out and sets that down.
Yeah, and he's done quite a few triple whips on vert now. It's still an amazing trick and a very dangerous trick. But, when he won a gold in LA doing a double whip, a lot of people are like, well, Zach did a triple whip, he did his higher. Well, now add him to the list here of somebody who's going to do these, and he's going to do these big.
Look at that, spotted it perfect, got his feet right on the pedals and landed great. What an amazing run by Stevie McCann.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see here. I mean, he's,
top scores a 92 right now, 89.66. So
and that's, you know what, he's not far out of medal contention. He's not going to medal tonight, but just to be .33 out of the medal after winning back-to-back golds a couple years ago in LA. I mean, that's a man.
We're down to our final 3 riders, which means there's only 2 left here that could bump Zach Warden out of that top spot. Zach's our last guy to ride. You're looking at the shot right now of Morgan Wade.
Morgan Wade always knows how to rise to the cage, and he's starting on the opposite side. So he'll drift over from the left takeoff to the right side of the landing.
Much like you do on flips to try to generate more speed. Some guys want this gap to be even longer now.
Big backflip over the gap and in the quarter pipe. Boosting 23 feet, 3 inches. And that just reset the, if that's it, that just broke the record again.
Yes, it did. And he didn't just do an air, he did a massive one-hand invert. Morgan has these better than anyone.
Boom! That just broke the X Games BMX Big Air high air record on the quarter pipe by over a foot.
Wow.
The previous record was Douglas Leite from Brazil last month, 22 feet 1 inches. Here you go, Morgan's got 23.3, so he reclaims that record.
And really smart play by Morgan. He wants to bump himself up out of 8th spot. Let me put in a good solid run, go really high, and hopefully it'll bump him up, and I absolutely think it will.
Well, that was so extended too, knees together, proper style, way, way, way up there.
So an 88.33, that'll move him up 2 spots. That'll move him from 8th into 6th. But again, he's reclaimed that record here in BMX Big Air at the X Games. You see Zach Warden up there is taking a look at that leaderboard. He knows that this is the last man standing between him and another gold medal in BMX Big Air. It comes down to this run right here.
With a cliffhanger backflip. Oh, slips his pedal. Throwing in the flare whip.
He slips his pedals and still does a 14-foot high.
Yeah, and he didn't need to. He knew at that point he wasn't going to move up.
But this could settle the tiebreaker right here. He put in a good solid run.
Well, unless he gets 90 or better, Satterfield's already got the edge from the scores being thrown out. Now, if we went down to another score being thrown out, you had definitive, boom.
Well, again, there's 5 judges. The way it works to drop out the high and the low scores. First tiebreaker, bring in those scores so you average all 5. The next tiebreaker is your second best run. The third tiebreaker would be average all 5 scores of the second best run.
Kevin, we both know Zach Warden really well. He's not the type, I think, that's going to take, especially done for the weekend, he's done right invert. He's not going to take a let's blow this off run, is he?
That is not Zach's style. One thing Zach and I always say to each other is we march to the beat of our own drum, and we always give a big high five because we like to do what we're feeling, and that's what it's all about. That's BMX right here.
This one's for Mom.
Check this out.
Run.
Oh, easy. Oh, don't do that.
Jamin Josh White would be proud.
Goodness. A 10-foot, 7-inch Jammin' Salmon. I think we can go on record and say that is the highest Jammin' Salmon in BMX history.
Well, I tell you what, he's got back-to-back gold medals, and he's now just added his name to the list of people that have ever taken back-to-back Big Air gold medals. The other 2 being Steve McCann and, of course, you, Kevin. Let's check in one more time with Jordan Whitley.
All right, well, another gold medal here. Does the second one feel as good as the first?
Oh, phenomenal. You know, just get a medal and to have the opportunity to come to X Games is phenomenal. And to be able to back up one gold medal with another is truly a feeling I can't describe, man. It's I'm on cloud 9 right now. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on.
Now I got to ask you, what you did out here and what some of the other guys were doing. Where do you go from here in BMX Big Air?
Well, you know, with BMX Big Air, it's the simplest, biggest thing we got, and it's up to us to push ourselves to always try to bring the new stuff to the table. So who knows what the possibilities are with this ramp? It's up to us to find out.
Well, congratulations. I'll send things back to you guys.
So what a night for that guy right there. He's got back-to-back gold medals here in GoPro BMX Big Air.
Right here again, backflip, bike flip to late tail whip, landed it perfectly clean.
All of St. Louis is proud right now. All of St. Louis is proud.
And I know his mom is watching, very proud of her boy.
Say, that's a heck of a birthday present for Mom right there. A lot of happy people over there in O'Fallon, Illinois. Colton Satterfield taking the bronze, his first Big Air medal. Vince Byron walking away with the silver. And Zach Warden has taken home his second BMX Big Air gold medal in a row. A rather nice birthday present for his mom back home in O'Fallon, Illinois. A great night here from GoPro BMX Big Air. Congratulations once again to Zach Warden.